Welcome to the First and Inches podcast, where every play counts and every take hits hard. Right. David is repping the dynasty that is the Kansas City Chiefs. George bleeds black and gold for Steeler Nation, and AP is still waiting on the Vikings to show up in February. We're breaking down the biggest stories in football, baseball, and anything in between. We're calling it like we see it, and no fan base is safe. Touchdown! This is the First and Inches podcast.
Are you ready for some football?
We're ready for some football, baby.
Welcome back to the First and Inches podcast, everybody. I'm Jorge.
I am Hooks.
AP here.
All day.
For those of you that can see us, we're representing right here.
Yep.
Well, some of us got a
I
loser.
didn't make the cut.
It's a loser among us. Well, it's good to see you guys. I know we have a lot to talk about, but I know, David, you want the floor first, so let's get at it.
So Jorge went to Cozumel, and we tried to find a shirt that said I went to Cozumel, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt. Did y'all ever get one of those as a kid?
I never went anywhere, so no.
Yeah.
All right. So I wanted to do this show is always about comedy, maybe about a little bit of knowledge, but I want to give a big shout out to Jorge. Last week I was in Mexico, had a heart attack. I don't speak Spanish. Did not realize the issues that I would have based on, you go to the resort, everybody speaks English good enough to get you taken care of, but going to the hospital, they do not. So, Jorge flew down from Tampa to help with the communication. Dude, lifesaver. Lifesaver. So I really just want to say thanks, before we get started, because I do want to get started, but I really want to say thanks, Jorge, because that you made my wife, you made my wife's friend so much more comfortable because you were there to help communicate with the doctors and nurses. And thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, my pleasure.
Awesome
I'm glad
stuff,
I was in a position to be able to come down and do that. And I know if I was in the same position, stranded in an English-speaking country, in some hospital where everybody's speaking English, you would come help me too.
Yes. So no, it just, up until Jorge got there, I just kind of did whatever the doctors or nurses said. And Jorge was able to navigate to get me out of the ICU, to get me out of the hospital. And thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't know if you knew this. We had two plans. One plan was to try and negotiate your way out of there early. The other plan was to break you out. So we went with the dirty clothes bin plan. We were going with the switcheroo. I was going to lay in bed until you could get away far enough. And then I'd be like, hey, I'm not a patient. But I'm glad we didn't have to resort to that. So
That's good stuff.
Really,
man.
thank you. So, hey, who would have guessed that we're sitting here getting ready to be week 7 in the NFL, and Jorge, who was the least happy about his team, is going to get to start out because his Steelers could have a 4-game lead in the loss column come Thursday night. So tell us about your team, Jorge.
I'm sticking to my guns. 8 wins, 9 losses. I think that I don't know, man. We got lucky. We play some bad teams. We play some terrible teams. And then now some of the teams have injuries in our division. So I think that may play a part, and maybe we go 9-8 instead of 8-9, but we're not going to win 11 games. We're really not. This team is not equipped to do that for the long stretch of the season. It's great to be sitting where we are, but hey, it's going to be just like every year where we see our lead in the division evaporate, and then we're just praying to get in the playoffs last minute. So nothing will change.
You don't think they can win 6 more games?
No, I don't think they can win 6 more games.
So So, okay. So just so everybody listening knows that my favorite day of the year is when the Steelers get eliminated from the playoffs, or and I post this meme on Facebook that I probably lost multiple friends over, talking about how even God hates the Steelers, but they're favored to win that division right now.
Well, yeah,
Yep.
I mean, it's just like Tampa's favorite to win the NFC South every year because every other team sucks. But just because those teams suck doesn't mean that we're not gonna go and split with them or go lose to every other team we got to play the rest of the year. So
Yeah.
I think looking at the schedule, it looks like this week's a big week. Got to make sure you take care of the Bengals without Burrow. But
That defense is terrible, and I think Aaron Rodgers is going to cook them up. I think that's 5 wins.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers cooking anybody off. Our defense is like holding off for dear life, and then we have one big play here and there to save the day. We have a kicker that we can count on. I mean, guys, we're not whooping people. Okay, we're barely winning to these teams. So
hold on, they're having the first Icy Bowl championship tomorrow. Like, come on, you don't feel good walking out of that 5-1.
No, we choke in prime time.
Now you're 5-6. You just got to finish 5-6, and you've won 10 games.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think I get it. I would play the contrarian position as well. I for my team if I were you, but I find it hard to believe with this start at 4-1. Man, I think they're good for 10 wins. What I say 11. What did I say? 11 wins? I forget. I said the AFC Championship.
We'd play 5 games. Remember when we were 11-0 4 years ago? And then we lost every damn game after that. Like, no, it's 5 games in. Calm down, y'all.
All right.
But
I don't even like the
favorite
odds.
is the Steelers. The betting favorite is the Steelers and the Ravens, who are 3-4 games back right now.
And without
the
Lamar
Bengals
Jackson.
and the Browns have no shot according to the odds.
Yeah.
Why not, though? I mean, listen, I think that if they keep Gabriel at quarterback, he's going to have to figure something out and get some rhythm. The kid is a winner, okay? He did well in college. He did well enough to get the number 2 job, right? Everybody and their mama thought Shedeur Sanders was going to be the number 2 quarterback, but somehow Gabriel seems to be the one that had the resume and the work ethic and the tools to win that job. So he's out there. If he stays out there long term, I think he'll figure things out. I think he'll definitely beat the Steelers, and I think he probably beat another team in the division. As for the Bengals, I mean, is Burrow supposed to come back this year?
No,
he's not. I mean,
late in the season, he was out 3 months, and I don't know.
Okay.
That's like
So
I don't know why you would risk bringing him back for 2 games.
Yeah, no. So I still think Pittsburgh might go into Cincinnati and lose tomorrow. So for all we know, yeah, I don't see.
I hope you're
like
right, Jorge. I hope you're right. I hope that
not me,
the
man. I'm
Steelers
rooting
fall
for you.
apart. The next 3 games after, I did look.
I'm
the
not
next
a
3 games
delusional
after.
fan that at the beginning of the year, I'm like, oh, we're going to win 12, 13 games. I mean, maybe you can say that, right? Because your Chiefs, they have all the tools. They have everything they need. But I'm not one of those. Dude, I don't have one of those teams that I can go out on a limb and say every year, oh, yeah, we're going to win 13 games this season. Blah, blah, blah. No, that's not us.
All right. So you want to talk about the Vikings or the Chiefs next, Adam?
I'll kick it off. I think I think you can talk. We can go a little bit. All of us can contribute a little bit on that Chiefs lately. But the Vikings, 3-2. Jonathan Grenard was on a podcast. For those that don't know, he's the outside linebacker, one of the key free agents they brought in last year, top 10 defensive player of the year guy. He let it slip that JJ McCarthy was going to be playing this weekend. I don't know. KOC has not indicated as such. So, Carson Wentz has got a bum shoulder right now, his non-throwing shoulder from the last game. So it's, not a lock necessarily, but they're getting a lot of players back. So they're getting back their rookie left guard, Donovan Jackson. Potentially Brian O'Neill, the right tackle, all pro. And some key defensive guys. Blake Cashman, he's the leader on their defense and helps shore up that running game because they are terrible against the run. So a lot could be going into their favor coming into this week, especially if they get J.J. McCarthy back. I'm a big believer in the future. Carson Wentz is not the future. But, I feel like at 3-2, I don't want this. Carson Wentz seems like they play it out. He's the 8-9 win team, right? JJ McCarthy comes out, he might be 6-7 wins, but I fully believe that it would be more important for the future, obviously, than a first round exit in the playoffs with somebody like Wentz.
Carson Wentz is the past.
Yes.
Yeah. So the JJ's back, and the Packers are still favored to win that division, followed by the Lions. And it doesn't make any sense why the Bears and Vikings are 1,100 to 1 or 11. They're plus 1,100, so 11 to 1 to win the division there. So the betting money is definitely not on the Vikings.
So enough about mediocrity. Even though the Vikings have a better record than the Taylor Swift Chiefs, but you want to go in a little bit about the team. I would like to know objectively, if you can, Hooks, what your opinion of that Lions game was with some of the calls. I got no position on it. I didn't watch the game. I just see curated segments of what happened with some of these egregious calls. So again, you could frame anything to make it look like the Chiefs. You see all the memes about Mahomes French kissing the referees, proposing marriage, paying the money, and they're all great and all, but what really happened?
All right, so I'm going to just address this really quick because I don't want to confuse the Chiefs section with the hater section. But I'm going to tell you right now, the NFL, let's get rich. Let's get rich as the NFL, and we're going to support a team from Missouri. No one, that's not realistic. I mean, they would go with the Raiders, the Steelers, the Cowboys, New England. They're not going to try to. So, let's make the Chiefs great again.
Dynasty make for a good storyline. Dynasties do. Having, the whole three-peat situation was a big seller. I mean, it was a big deal for the NFL to have that happen again. So don't tell me that just because they're from Kansas City or whatever. I mean, they're not the Cowboys. They're not America's team, but they got Taylor Swift in their back pocket. The NFL wants to push them as much as they can down everybody's throat. Trust me.
All right. I'll let you guys play your games. You can talk about this after I get off here. But I've been talking about this for 6 weeks now. Rice is back. They now keeping everybody healthy. They have Worthy. They have Hollywood Brown. They have Kelsey. That Mahomes has had for years. This is the best chance that they have to succeed with these young wide receivers that are looking to get paid. So they're one game back of the Broncos and the Chargers. They're the betting favorite to win the NFC or the AFC West. It's getting Katie bar the doors. They're coming.
What's the deal with Juju Smith-Schuster? I've seen a couple of different interviews saying that he deserved it, and some people are glad that he got his lip fattened. Is that true? Is he a punk? What's the story about him?
Go ahead, Jorge.
Hey, he was a Steeler. What's that dude's name that laid out Antonio Brown that made him the
Perfect,
wild man that he
perfect.
is? Yeah, didn't Juju Smith flatline whatever his name was?
Yeah.
Fontes?
Yeah, but he's a nutcase, man. That guy is going to follow the footsteps of AB. and be, out of the league soon and crazy as hell. So I think that he can be, can cause turmoil in the locker room and even I think that he can hurt your team on the
Mhm.
field with his antics. Okay.
Mhm.
I would like to punch him myself, but I'm not in the NFL, so I don't get to. So I don't know. It is what it is. I think that they said what they said, and I believe they're right.
So you're saying that Juju was in the wrong?
Juju's always in the wrong.
Yeah.
Mm.
They cut some things. Again, I didn't watch the game, but they cut some things up that showed Juju Smith was looked like he was really antagonizing it, and your boy Mahomes flexed on him or something like that that made it really escalated the whole deal with Branch, right? Brian Branch is his name. The whole, which is not anything to get in a fight about, that kind of thing. But I think it was a combination, and Juju in his face all day. And I don't even know how good of a game Juju had, right? That would warrant all that smack talk.
So Juju is hey, if you got your fourth cover person on him, he's good. You get his first or second one on him, you're in trouble. And like for you to say that he's like a head case, he's been nothing but a good teammate since he came to Kansas City, because before then it was all the tick tock crap. And now it's like he's just a good teammate. And I mean, like, if every time you got a cheap shot in the NFL, you get to decide that, oh, okay, I want to fight after the game, that's ridiculous.
I don't think he plays like a professional. You know what I mean? Like, he has no, I don't know, that level of
Yeah.
professionalism when you step on the field and respect for the other players. He thinks that the smack talking is part of the game, the dancing, the jawing, all that. And I get it. Psychological warfare. But that's not what the NFL should be about.
Yeah.
Plain and
But I
simple.
also think it's, to your point though, to Jorge's point, I feel like if he was producing at a level of, I'm not saying like Justin Jefferson level, but if he was producing at a high level, I'm talking like 1,100, 1,200 yard seasons, 8, 9, 10 touchdowns, I think there would be more grounds for acceptance. But he's kind of been a marginal player outside that second or third year in Pittsburgh. And I feel like a lot of people have had issues. A lot of different players seem like they have issues with him. And again, I'm not intimate with this guy. Just what I hear.
Do the Chiefs sign him again when his contract expires?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they're not playing him like okay, they have wide receivers that catch the ball. They have wide receivers they put in when there's a running play. And he's in there when there's a running play, and he's in there whenever they're going 4 wide. And he's not he will not be in there in a 3 wide set unless it's a running play. And so he, to say, hey, he's a bully. I mean, the Chiefs get bullied all the time, so they need a bully maybe he's their enforcer.
Yeah. Just listen. This is not for a question for us. It's a question for Taylor Swift. We need to know what her position is. She's going to be the one shot calling who stays and who goes. If he's pulling away receptions from her chick, Travis Kelce, then I think maybe he is out. But if he's setting it up proper, Kelsey's getting more play. All
right. Well, here's a shout out for Taylor Swift. We'll have you on our show next week if you've got time.
Yeah.
So AFC Player of the Week. Y'all know who it was?
AFC player Aaron Rodgers.
Nope. Patrick Mahomes. He's.
Oh, by the way, my favorite Taylor Swift song from the new album is "Canceled."
Oh,
continue.
What's your favorite, Adam?
Yeah, not heard. I got no play.
I think Kelsey's is Wood.
I'm sure it is.
But it shows. It actually shows that Mahomes. Go listen to just Google Wood. So Mahomes is actually showing as the favorite to win the MVP right now, after the success he's had so far and it's just going to get better. So
Yeah,
in
I
the
think
NFC,
his play is impactful, whereas the guy from the Bills, Josh Allen, is just not. He puts up stats, but
Mm-hmm.
he's impactful one game a season, and then he chokes when he doesn't. When they need him the most. Mahomes doesn't ever do that. Plain simple. MVP.
so
Yeah.
NFC was Bijan Robinson was the that is a Jekyll and Hyde team. The Falcons
Yeah.
lose by
That guy
30
is
to.
an absolute savage, though. That touchdown he had, 81-yard rip. I mean, he blew through those guys. I mean, he is, and you guys have seen him. The dude is massive. He reminds me a lot of Derrick Henry, but also remember this guy for the Oilers, Eddie George. Remember Eddie George? I see a lot of similarities in my opinion. Now, I don't know how anyone else feels about that, but I do see there's a lot of parallels with his game and Eddie George. I grew up watching that guy.
All right. So we agreed to talk about the standings in the NFL. So the Steelers 3+ lead and could have a 4-game lead. They win tomorrow. 4-game lead in the loss column. So what do you guys think about New England and the Bills being tied at 4-2?
Well, I think, man, Drake May, that guy is wow. He's had really good games, and he had this throw where he was rolling to his right, threw off that back foot. That was an impressive throw. It was, right on the money. I think they've got somebody in him. That's who I wanted the Vikings to draft to move up. And I'm going to tell you how big of a believer I think the Patriots are. The Vikings offered the ask was the Vikings, what they offered was 3 first-round picks, 3, and the Patriots declined. So not only do I believe that Drake May is the guy, but I believe that obviously with the Patriots organization does as well. I think they've got a special guy. They've got a good defense, but mostly, I'll tell you what I think is important about the Patriots. They've got fresh culture in there. They've got a whole new dynamic. I think it's revigorate. They've got a lot of players there that are studs. But I think this whole thing could be not Tom Brady part 2. Nobody's going to replicate that. But I think they've got a franchise quarterback, and they've also got a great organization. So good on them.
Maybe Mahomes replicates that.
The Tom Brady, bruh.
Only time will tell.
Yeah,
it's good to see that the Bills have some competition in that division, though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because the Dolphins surely aren't putting it up there,
and the Jets are trash. So Steelers, like I said, 3+. What about the Colts? Who would have guessed the Colts leading that division?
Danny Dimes, another. I wanted the Vikings to re-sign him. He got it for 14 or 15 years to be their starting quarterback. I was completely wrong. I thought Anthony Richardson was going to. I think that was one of our first podcasts once the NFL season started. Completely wrong, but he is playing. He and Sam Darnold are I think 1 and 2 in the QBR rankings. I don't know if you guys are into QBR or if you like just the, that's the ESPN stat. But I think they are the first 2, 1 and 2 in terms of the ranked quarterbacks. But again, great quarterback play. And they've got a hell of a running back, right? Jonathan Taylor. Guy's another stud.
Where did those 2 quarterbacks, Danny Dimes and Darnold, play last year?
At the QB factory, the QB clinic, KOC. I don't want to talk about it, though.
All right, so Chargers, Broncos, we mentioned that already. Chargers, Broncos tied. So the Eagles are 1 up on Washington and 1.5 up on Dallas. What happened to the Eagles over the last couple weeks?
That's a good question, man. I don't want to say that they're not playing inspired because I feel like they're still playing hard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's been a couple of trap games or something because they didn't expect to have the battle that they did this week.
They haven't outgained an opponent this year yet. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that.
They've been negative yards to their 6 opponents so far.
Wow. That's pretty interesting. So, yeah, especially how dominant of a team they were last year, obviously, Super Bowl. But,
yeah. Packers up 1 up, and I mean, the Packers. That
Yeah.
division is one of the tight ones.
No, it's wonderful. Yeah, I love that. I don't know how I feel about the Packers. I've only watched 2 games. I like to watch as much as I can in the divisional games. I don't know if Jordan Love. I'm not just debating if how good he is. I don't know if he's like the guy, the Aaron Rodgers that's going to be there for 15 years or however long. Kind of the jury's still out on me, even though they're playing well. It's just obviously you're a quarter of the way through the season, right? So there's a lot more that can third of the way through the season. A lot more can unfold, but I don't know how I feel about the Packers.
At the end of the year, is that tie going to help them? Like, how does a tie play in your record? Do you think, for the most part, is good?
I thought, and I could be wrong, so I don't want to speak out of turn. This is just more. I thought a tie was as good as a loss. Like, it won't benefit you; it will just hurt you.
I feel like it's as good as a win.
No, I don't
you
think
could be
so.
in a situation where, even though it's not in their division, you still have a better loss record. Even with the same amount of wins. So
you were there at that Packers Cowboys game. How was that?
That was so annoying, man. It's like nobody was playing defense at the end. There was like 700 points scored in the last quarter and overtime, and nobody wanted to win the game with defense. So it was fun, but it was so frustrating. I got to tell you, normally, you have not half the stadium, depending on the stadium, you have, one fan base leave mad. Both but everybody left mad. We were all mad. We're like, mother freaking crap. We're here on a Sunday night and it's like midnight and nobody won. It was annoying.
That would be incredibly frustrating.
Yep.
Any good fights out there, Jorge?
No,
Any fights
no
in the stands?
No, Dallas is pretty mild. I mean, it's not like even when the Eagles come to town, it's nothing crazy down there. If you want to see fights, you got to get over there to the East Coast, like Philly and Buffalo and Cleveland. So
yeah.
All right, so Tampa's 2 up. They're going to run away with that thing, I think, and then the West, the NFC West, with the Niners, Rams, and Seattle all tied at 4-2. Who's coming out of that?
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think my vote will be the Seahawks. I think that they've got a hell of an offense, and they've got really a lot of depth. So I see there, a lot of different options for that quarterback. I forget his name. I don't know where he came from last year. So I think that they've got a good chance. And I don't really know what's up with what they're doing in San Francisco. Is Brock Purdy, when he comes back, is he going to start, or are they going to keep it with Mac? You got to start him with the contract that you paid him. But I don't know what they don't look much different between Purdy and Mac Jones. You know what I mean? Is that a Kyle Shanahan team? Are you looking now saying it didn't matter what quarterback was there? Jimmy Garoppolo, Trey Lance, Brock Purdy? It was just whoever was under center, right? Well, that's what it seems.
Yeah. So in Seattle, Puka may be out for a couple weeks, so that's going to make it interesting to see the Rams, with Puka being out. All right, so real quick, Adam, tell us about the Reds season. Tell us how you feel. So,
and I won't be a windbag. Well, I have a tendency to do that with the Reds. So a lot, their pitching, I talked about it all year. Was their strength. They were a top 3 pitching staff in all of baseball. That includes the Dodgers and Phillies. They were grouped into that. Their offense was anemic. Ellie De La Cruz, I think he suffered a lot of lackadaisical defense. I know some of that's subjective because he was getting to balls that some other people wouldn't get to. But the errors that we did see were awful, and he led the league in errors. I think a lot of that is stemmed to him playing the entire season, all games. I think I'd like to see more sporadic days off. But I preface that by saying the season was a success because they made the playoffs. But I knew they were a paper tiger, I guess, if that's the way, because I knew that it wasn't a sustainable, I honestly thought if they were going to win, they were going to beat the Dodgers because in that short 3-game series, I thought a lot could go right. Because let's face it, you could roll out the Rockies and Dodgers, and the Rockies could very well rip off 2
Yeah.
games against the Dodgers. I mean, that's how stupid that 3-game series is. But not to my surprise, they lost, and they have a lot of work to do, a lot of question marks. They got a lot of mediocre guys that are under cost controlled, and that's what the Reds are about, right? Saving money. So then you say, well, how can they upgrade? Maybe a left fielder, maybe a designated hitter, where there's some openings. But who the hell's going to fit in that isn't already there, right? So Kyle Schwarber, old Ohio guy, Cincinnati guy, he makes sense. But I read he's wanting 5 years, $30 million a year. At that age, that contract could go bad real quick.
Yeah, he's
really,
33.
really quick. Same with Pete Alonso, a very similar deal. Would I take him? Of course. But that would also, if it went bad like the Jamer Candelario and the Mike Moustakas deals that were a fraction of what these two guys are going to take, it will hinder the franchise for a half a decade. And so all in all, the Reds are, unless they spend money, we've just talked about this, they're going to be fringe team for the rest of my life, probably.
Like they're building for the future, but it's like not the near future.
Right. Yeah.
They want to put themselves in a position where it doesn't hurt them, but then you never get there.
Right. And, one thing I'll say is that some dumbass made a comment, about the Reds potentially trading Hunter Green for, premier bats. That would be fucking stupid. They did that with Luis Castillo, and for years up until Noelvi Marte having a good half year this year, who's now their right fielder, everybody was bitching and moaning about you had this guy who's on the team about to go to the World Series in the Mariners. They traded him away for, again, young premier bats, and he was under a cost-controlled deal. Well, 2 years to lead into free agency. Hunter Green is even in a better situation. So no, to that complete and utter dumbass, it does not make sense to trade Homer Bailey. Hunter Green. I keep saying Homer Bailey.
Well, it wasn't me. I didn't post that, but I'll tell you right now from what you said, I think that would be a good idea because you're going to go find another starter that maybe gives you 5 less wins, but then you have enough bats to give you maybe 10 more wins out of a 162 game season.
No.
You're going to finish 5-6 games ahead. And like you said, a 3-game series is a toss-up, right? But now you maybe can bypass that 3-game series if you have 6 more games in the win columm. I don't think it's such a crazy idea. I get the guy's good, but
but you're talking, he is an ace. The last 2 years, I know he's had health issues, but he's been an ace. My deal is I've seen this play out before. You're talking about the Reds. They don't evaluate talent fully. They did make it seem like a good deal with the Tyler Mahle deal, and they got Spencer Steer and Christian Encarnacion. But these guys, again, you made the point that they're planning for the future, but they're not like this just whatever gray ambiguous future. They've got Homer Bailey. They've got some other guys that are coming up, that Chase Burns and Rhett Louders. But again, these guys that's not a known commodity with these guys. And also with Hunter Green, it's a known commodity and it's a cost controlled commodity. So they've got 4 more years for him with the options. You got to use him as your horse because, again, I don't want to get into this position where maybe they get a fringe guy that's with Homer Bailey. He's an all-star. He's a sub-3 ERA, 12 strikeouts per 9, low walk rate. I don't know. That's my guy, man. He's my guy.
So why don't you guys spend more money? You made $325 million last year, and you spent 137 of it on payroll. You're like below the middle of the pack in terms of payroll, 21.
Well, Bob Castellini, he's the majority owner. His son said it, right? Where are you going to go? That's what he said. That was their response. They asked Phil Castellini, who is the CFO of the Cincinnati Reds, they asked him, they're like, why aren't we spending more money? Why aren't we investing into the team? It was along the same time that they put Eugenio Suarez on his, which was a great deal. And then, his rebuttal to this, because he was getting pressured, was, where are you going to go? So, you know why? It's the middle of America. They know that this team, through historic, the oldest baseball franchise in the league. There's just people that they're going to fill into the stadium. It's the status quo, right? Why change anything when you're printing money and you don't need to invest? I think a lot of that, though, has to do with TV contracts and cable contracts, which I don't want to get into here because we could get pretty long-winded. I mean, I would love to discuss that on a podcast, but
Okay,
so I just play into it.
So let's get off the Reds real quick. So just a shout out to Travis Cunningham for the Reds finishing 5 games ahead of the Cardinals, in case he's listening. Okay, so AL playoffs, got the Jays versus the Mariners. The Mariners got a 2-0 game lead. Games 3 tonight. Who's winning that game and who's winning that series?
It's Seattle's year.
Yeah.
Mark it down. Mariners going to win their first World Series, and the Seahawks going all the way too. It's going to be one of those 2020 years that LA had.
LA for the Dodgers.
Yeah.
So
their basketball team's not going to win a championship because they don't have one.
Well,
So anyway, yeah, I mean,
OKC,
obviously,
what are you talking about? OKC just won.
So anyway, the AL is going to be interesting. The Jays obviously have the best record in baseball, and Seattle is up 2-0. So tonight's a big deal, and because it's in Seattle. All right, so let's go National League real quick. The best record team, the Brewers. The also ran Dodgers. The lowest seed left, Dodgers. Dodgers are up 2-0 with great games from Snell and Yoshi, with Glasnow and Otani going game 4. So what's y'all's take on where that series ends up?
I mean, it would take a miracle for the Brewers to come back. So they've got a rested bullpen in the Dodgers. This is what I said. I said this. I will say this: the Brewers made it to the championship series, went to the pennant. That surprised me. The Brewers are the Brewers. You know what I mean. They're never going to be a team that wins it all. I mean, I think
Snell is preparing for Game 1 of the World Series already.
Yeah, correct.
That's simple.
100%.
But okay, so anyway, some way, somehow, the number 3 seed can figure out a way to make the World Series. They got a chance. That's what we're looking for, right? For the underdog. We're cheering for the underdog Dodgers.
Nobody calls them underdog. So let's be real. The Cards, they landed where they did at the end of the season, but that's irrelevant. This is the Dodgers. They have the highest payroll in the league. They have the best players in the league.
Yeah.
Nobody expected them to not go all the way.
Yeah, they're here for a reason, right? I mean,
yeah,
shows you what.
Look, they got the Cardinal, or they got the Reds, they got the Phillies. All right, so let's hear about your chump of the week. Let's see what everybody came up with.
Chump of the week. Okay, I'm gonna go with Little Leaguer Orion Kirkering. Come on, man, it's just basics. You have 2 outs and you get the ball hit to you. I don't care how many times you kick it around. The only place that you're going with that ball is first base. Doesn't matter what happens. Unless, of course, it hits you in the head and it rolls straight to the catcher, right? And they take care of that. But no, first base, no matter what. What is he thinking?
I really like that one. I forgot about that one. That was the Dodgers getting lucky.
Yep.
All right.
Hooks, you go.
All right. So my chump of the week is Bryce Terang from Milwaukee. Did I steal yours?
Yes. Damn it.
The second baseman avoiding the pitch to his knee with 2 outs to tie a ball game in the playoffs.
You got to get your mind right there, man. You got to eat it.
I got to tell you, though, it's not as easy as you think it is.
No, it's not. But when you're at that
your
level,
body and your brain is not built to get hit.
No.
Your body will do weird things. This Sunday, I got thrown at twice. One was it was going to hit me and I made it go behind my back like some kind of Matrix crap. And the second one was kind of going at my shoulder, and the only thing I could do was to drop to the ground, and I avoided that pitch from hitting me.
Right.
And I was playing the 42 plus. So these balls were not coming 80, 90 miles an hour. It was a good 60 miles an hour, but my body still was no, get out of the way. So I get it. It's just instinct, and I don't blame him for it.
My backup, I didn't know, of course.
Hold on, just let me finish this real quick.
Go
What do
for
you
it.
think, Chase? Okay, so just to be clear, Terang has been hit 5 times in 3 seasons, so he does not like to get hit.
Yeah, I don't
But
think
like,
anybody does.
just, I mean, like you have to go up there thinking, hey, if something's going to hit me, it's a tie ball game. You
Yeah.
have to be thinking that. I guarantee you, Chase Utley to taking that pitch.
Yep.
Chase
So-
Utley, that's a blast from the past.
All right, so go ahead, Adam.
No, I don't have anything. I would say this. I know I was giving you shit about the Chiefs. I think that the chump of the week would probably be the NFL for somehow letting the narrative get out so bad that the refs are favoring the Chiefs, which clearly you can dispute it, but I don't think they are. Being objective. But man, that narrative, that I've never seen it spiral like it did this last week on social media. I've only got one social media, so it's not like I can't prejudice myself to just that one. But I think there's, I don't know, it got ugly, but I think it was coupled with the fight too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the NFL,
That algorithm clearly followed you whenever you believed it. It doesn't follow me like that.
Oh, yeah, I know. No, probably because you're looking at like Travis Kelce nude, Patrick Mahomes nude.
So,
Yeah.
would. So,
All right, well, good show, guys. Anything
Yeah.
else? Any last thoughts?
Man, Hooks, I'm glad, man, you're a stud. I'm glad to see you're doing well. I love it, Jorge. You got his back. That's really awesome. I know the heart attack is close and personal to me. Obviously, I've dealt with that with my family, so I know how fragile and how random it is. It's scary stuff, man. So I'm glad that you're here and able to take some body shots about your Chiefs and Dodgers. So
Yeah, it was scary for me to have to let him know that the Chiefs had lost to the Jaguars. So I was like, that is the last thing I want to tell you when you wake up. But
yeah,
made it through that too. So, all right, man. Well, good talking to you guys.
Yeah.
Good week. We'll get this going with the rest of the playoffs. By the time we talk, we might have a World Series matchup set up.
hell yeah.
Thank you so much to our listeners for following us. First and Inches Podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and also our YouTube channel, this First and Inches Podcast. Thank you so much, guys. You have a great day.
thanks.
Peace.